Hello, today I'll be reviewing the new Disturbed album, Divisive, and this was an album that I was actually really looking forward to due to how impressed I was with the singles. But yeah, of course, the last time I heard from the band was back in 2018 with their album Evolution, which I did review on this channel, and overall, I'd say I like the album, but I would easily say that it is probably their weakest album. I mean, for me, it has some of their weakest material, but again, it does have its highlights, though, like Are You Ready, The Best Ones Lie, and No More, just to name a few songs. But yeah, for me, one of their weaker albums, but again, does have its moments. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this album. The album starts off with the first single, which was Hey You, and when the song first dropped, I gave it a lot of praise during my review, and all this time later, I still really like this song. I definitely hear Believe and 10,000 Fists the most with this song. I especially hear Believe with the chorus of this song. Definitely one of those choruses that you can sing along to. And sure, you can make the argument that this song is pretty much typical Disturbed or sounds like typical Disturbed, but still, at the end of the day, I still think this is a pretty strong song and definitely one of the highlights on the album, I'd say. Overall, a strong way to open up the album. But then he moves to the song Bad Man, which overall, I'd say is a good song. Overall, decent, but for me, not one of my personal favorites. For me, it didn't leave much of a mark on me as much as some of the other songs on the album. But overall, a decent song, but definitely not one of my personal favorites. But then you move to the title track, Divisive, which is a bit of a more mid-tempo rocker, and overall, pretty solid song. This is another song that I'd say, not sure if it's one of my favorites, but overall still a solid Disturbed song overall. And I'd say I like it more now compared to when the song first dropped, because when it first dropped, overall I liked it, but didn't really love it. But I'd say, again, I like it much more now compared to when it first dropped. But then we move to the second single, Unstoppable, and wow, this song is a banger. The riffs in this song especially really pack a punch, and for me with this song, I definitely hear 10,000 Fists and Asylum. Those are the albums that I probably hear the most with this song personally. But yeah, this song, especially the riffs, they just kick so much ass, and vocally I like what David Draymond's doing in this song too. I really dig his, I don't know, vocal patterns, however you want to say it, but either way, definitely a banger from Disturbed, and maybe one of the highlights on the album for me too. But then we move to the song Love to Hate, and this is another song that might be one of my favorites on here. Especially, I really like what I'm hearing musically with this song. I definitely hear mid to late 2000s Disturbed, 10,000 Fists, Indestructible era, overall musically with this song Love to Hate. And also, I think the song might have one of my favorite choruses on here too. But yeah, overall, really digging this song. But then you move to Feeding the Fire, and this is kind of like with the title track. This is a bit of a more mid-tempo rocker, and also a bit of a more tamer song. Not a ballad, but there is heaviness in this song, but also it's not, I wouldn't say it's as heavy or as aggressive as some of the other songs on the album. But also, another thing with this song, I'm really liking the singing from David Draymond in this song, especially in the chorus. Vocally, maybe one of my favorites on here. But yeah, Feeding the Fire, overall, a pretty good Disturbed song. But then you move to the ballad on the album, Don't Tell Me, featuring Ann Wilson, which, if I remember correctly, is from the band Heart. Hopefully I got that right. And yes, I have heard the band Heart, and I will say this with this song. I'd say I like it more than I expected, absolutely. But I'd say from the second verse and on, I really dig this song. The first verse for me, I mean, vocally I like what David Draymond's doing, but the music behind him in the first verse, didn't really move me all that much. Wasn't really, I don't know, didn't find it all that interesting musically again. But once Ann Wilson comes into the song, I'm really liking what I'm hearing. Vocally, she sounds great. And also, I'd say Ann and David really complement each other vocally, such as, of course, in the chorus, too. And also, another highlight I have to say with this song is damn, the solo in this song from Donegan, maybe one of the highlights on the album for me. I mean, I really dig the solo in this song, and yeah, once the more heavier riffs in this song kick in, starting with, if I remember correctly, the second chorus, I mean, I just really like the heavy riffs that you get later in the song. But overall, a solid ballad. I'm not sure if it's one of my favorites on the album, but overall, a pretty solid song. Maybe a song that might not be for every Disturbed fan, but for me, overall, I do like it. Would I go as far to say that I love it? Probably not, but still, again, I do overall like it. But then we move to Take Back Your Life, and I like the more electronic intro, and also I think the song has a pretty strong chorus. Outside of that, the song to me doesn't really offer a whole much of anything new or interesting to the album. But yeah, not a bad song, but for me, not one of the stronger songs on here. But there are definitely highlights to it, such as, again, the chorus. But then we move to the song Part of Me, which is easily one of the weakest songs on the album, in my opinion. Now, you definitely get plenty of heaviness in this song, of course, with the riffs, and that's definitely cool and all, but this is another song on the album for me that just doesn't really add a whole lot much new to the table for this album, in my opinion. For me, it doesn't really do enough to really stand out in the track list, but overall, a decent song, but easily one of the weaker songs, I'd say. But then you move to the album closer, Won't Back Down. And rhythmically, a pretty catchy song, I'd say, especially with the verses. Rhythmically, I like what I'm hearing there. And then the chorus, I'm actually really digging the chorus too. Maybe one of those choruses that can make you bob your head a little bit. At least it got me to do it a little bit. But yeah, one of the shorter songs on the album, but all around, I'd say a fairly catchy song, and overall, not a bad way to close off this album. But yeah, overall, I'm impressed with this album. I'd say, honestly, I like this. Well, of course, easily I like this more than Evolution, and I probably like it more than Immortalized too, honestly. I'm not sure how other people will be about that, but for me, I definitely like it more than Immortalized. But yeah, overall, pretty good album from Disturbed. Now, if you're still not into Disturbed, this is an album that probably won't change your mind or really get you sold on them or anything. This will definitely please many of the older fans or people that are fans of the first 3 or 4 albums. I think they'll be, again, pleased with this album, or at least a good chunk of this album. But if I had to give this album a rating, I'd probably give it, yeah, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. My rating could change at any time, but yeah, honestly, pretty impressed with this album. So yeah, anyways, let me know your thoughts on this album. Do you love it? Do you hate it? How's it compared to their previous albums for you personally? Would you say it's a step up from the past 1 or 2 albums or so? Let me know some of your favorite or least favorite songs on here and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Have a nice day, and take care.